So with me, grew up pretty normal life. Like we weren't rich or anything, but we didn't really want for anything. So both parents were there. And then met you at school in Sutton, and like started getting into music because like we both like hip hop and that. Formed a group back then.
Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's not. But I was only really the one that carried it out of that group that carried on the music and that.
You were like very focused with music.
You was the original bad boy chiller crew in there.
It wasn't that bad, but I was loyalist hip hop sort of vibes. But then went to uni and that, and then done my first gig. I roped him in to be my my hype man. There's a photo of us somewhere that's it's just us two, first ever gig, just standing there like,
what am I doing?
What do we do? Ourselves.
This
club was full as well when it was.
This is how back in the day it was. I was wearing a Public Enemy t-shirt with
Public Enemy,
black with white polka dot like scarf, Taliban scarf. Yeah.
I think I was
back
wearing
in
like
the day.
I was wearing this blue shirt with some silver writing on it. It was like the choices we made back then.
Yeah. From that though, it's a headline in a room at the O2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like come a long way,
was.
and like we've done festivals and we've done headline the O2, like Bobs has said.
Yeah, shout out to freestylers as well for like bringing us to Beat Herder Festival. Man.
Yeah,
that was
like
sick.
Lots of life experiences that we can mould into this this podcast throughout. But I met my ex when I was probably about 29, and then.
Don't mind the dog, he's just watched the first cynical video.
Yeah. I thought he was watching the Blues.
Yeah, if you can,
not this season, mate. Not this
you can
season.
hear a dog in the background. Apologies.
We don't abuse dogs.
Yeah, we had a son. Absolutely adore him, and is the only thing I've ever wanted to be in my life was a dad. So like when that happened, it was the best feeling. I remember when she was giving birth, like she was in mega pain, bless her. But like when he actually came out, I just started blubbering like uncontrollably. I was like, like this, and she, for some reason, she thought I was laughing at her. Because of the way, the sound that I was making.
Did you get a bit of
the sound that I was making, like it was...
That is the worst thing.
God's honest, it was like Exorcist, head spanner out. And she was like, don't laugh at me. And I'm like, I'm not, it's fucking... I'm just crying because I'm so happy.
It was... What were you like, Bobby, on the day like you first was born?
Do you know, I was literally, mate, it's very, very lucky because I was working at the school and it was like a World War I Memorial Day. And I was literally, in the morning, I was about to get into like a full World War I outfit. And I knew that it was due any sort of time, it could have been any time. And then towards about halfway through the day, it was like I got the call saying that she's going to the hospital and I'm like, thank God I weren't wearing that. I just turned up to the hospital and that. But,
they've probably seen worse.
It probably has, to be fair. So like, I was all right. I did dress sort of formally, but I just took a blazer off and I looked kind of normal, as normal as I can. But
oh my gosh, that reminds me. Sorry. Do you remember when we were doing a shoot for somebody and it was for a barber shop, and then one of the barbers was called Aston.
Yes,
and we asked, is your dad a Villa fan? And he was like, yeah. And then he was telling us about the day he was born. Yeah. So the day he was born, his dad was at the Villa.
So his dad didn't
watching
make
a match. so like obviously the guy's mum like went to the hospital and was giving birth and that, and then like they were trying to get hold of the dad, but they couldn't get hold of him. So they had to put on the tannoy that such and such is giving birth. If the father's here, he needs to go to the hospital. So do you know what he did? He decided to go to the hospital with all of his mates.
Wow.
He was saying that his dad was there, like cheering on the mum to push and that, and then all of his mates were
That
like
why it's called Aston.
Yeah. And then, like while she was giving birth, like all of his like pissed up mates were like outside like singing Villa songs and that.
That's a mad one.
That's mental.
So I think you turning up in a World War outfit
Yeah,
would have
to be
been
honest.
Probably the least.
Yeah.
The least.
a lot tamer than that.
To be fair.
How did you react when your little one was born? Like it was your first child?
Like obviously, like I was there, like, you know, for her mum, and it was like to be fair, I think she handled it quite well. And then like the moment she was born, I was kind of just like, I don't know, it was surreal, and I was just sort of I wasn't frozen because I was there and I was, you know, but it just felt like it was almost like an out of body experience. Like
it's weird, isn't it?
Like I'm a dad now. Like I'm literally a dad
that
now.
realisation
Like
hits.
because you know you are before obviously the baby comes.
Yeah.
But like it's like
It's
this
real.
this is here now. Like,
Yeah.
It starts right
Priority.
now.
Yeah, when there's a
Yeah,
physical
but,
child there,
yeah.
I always say this, it's mad for like dad when pregnancy happens because you have to mentally prepare for something that's not growing inside you.
Yeah.
And then when they're actually born and the physical child's there, you're like, crap,
It's mad, isn't it?
this is
Like,
real. Like I made that.
when you've had your fun, you're not really doing much for like 9 months.
Yeah,
literally.
Truth, man. Could almost like
It's true, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, I suppose.
That you had such a polite way of saying how the reproduction system works. When you've had your fun.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
But yeah, just that moment. Then I'm not gonna lie, I found cutting the cord a bit weird.
Yeah,
I found that a bit
didn't do
weird.
that. I didn't do that.
Yeah, I found
that
that a
made
bit
you
weird.
feel funny.
I stayed up north, man. I didn't go down south at all.
But then, from a second though,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing Call of Duty as she was born.
Wait,
And now,
as she
obviously,
was born?
without context, that sounds
I
horrendous.
know. As she was born.
Bobby's like, yeah, I was too busy playing.
I was on like a 4 kill
We do
streak.
not know about this guy.
So it was COVID, wasn't it? And like all the restrictions were in place. And then like she could only have one person at the hospital with her. No
So
one
her
could
mum
come
went.
into the house and stuff. So her mum took her, and then I had to stay at home with Sylvie.
Yeah.
So I was just sat there waiting, and I couldn't just sit there doing nothing.
I wonder.
So I tried to keep myself distracted, and like obviously, you know, I was making sure she was okay.
Was you playing it online?
Yeah.
I wonder if when you killed somebody, she come out.
That'd be
That'd be sick, you know. That'd be funny.
reincarnation. Yeah. But yeah, so like I was playing, and I was talking to my mates on there, and I was just like, I'm gonna have a kid, like another kid, any minute, and I'm here. I should be there, but I can't be. It's horrible.
That must be hard, man.
It was horrible.
that
It was
must be
horrible.
really
Like,
That's crazy.
because I'm like I'm invested. Like I mean, obviously, you know, me and their mum broke up and that.
Yeah.
But like I was fully invested, and I still am now. Like we've got a good relationship now, and you need to make, you know, I want to make sure she's okay still, sort of thing. Like, you know, if there's any way I can sort of support something that makes things easier for her or whatever,
Yeah.
of course I would. And I'm just
suppose as
invested.
well.
It was tough, but it also, like, I don't feel bad about it because that was the circumstance. Like,
Yeah. As well, though, you want like your kid's mum to be happy and relatively stress-free because that has a toll on your kids as well.
Yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
On their
Yeah, I've
parenting
always-
capabilities and stuff.
I've
innit?
always said that about my setup because like with my ex, I like whatever happened between us was whatever, but I want her to be happy because then my lad's growing up in a happy environment.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Exactly
That's the
that.
important
So-
thing. That's the important thing.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do for him, like because we got a 50-50 setup. So the week he's here, we try and make it as happy and fun. And, like you got to have your routine, but still like try and do whatever. It's hard for me like taking him back and that and like
the handover process.
yeah and
Do you know when you first like got 50-50?
yeah
Was it a bit of an adjustment for him, like
yeah because
being here like for a long length of time and then being at his mum's for a long length of time?
Well, not really, because it was the way that it was designed an integration, sort of like it was over 6 months that we designed to have it to slowly increase. So we
So it
slowly
wasn't
got
just bam, you're into
Yeah,
it.
there'll be a
no,
transition
yeah,
sort of
transition
won't there?
period.
Yeah,
That's
what
the
they-
word I'm looking for.
That's what they're doing for me still.
But yeah. So the way the setup was working when that was okay for him when he was a baby, it weren't really working when he'd grown a bit older, because he's like coming on the odd night in the week, and then he's thinking there's no point settling here because I'll be back at mum's
That must have
the
been
next day.
so frustrating. That.
Yeah, for me as a dad, but like you just, because I just want to see my son, but you gotta put your kids first and the way they are. So we had to sort of work out how to integrate this 50-50 setup, and yeah, we just added extra days every couple of months over a 6-month period, and it was quite seamless in that way. So I mean, dust the shoulders off. It was quite well designed by myself.
Now, do you know the thing is though, like what the thing I respected about you for the whole thing is it wasn't, obviously you want to see your son, but it was what's best for him the whole way along.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
it
like,
was
that's
never-
what-
It was-
that's
it
the
wasn't
way I
like-
do things.
It wasn't
wasn't like
malicious
you-
towards his mum. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you was doing what was best for your son.
Yeah, I had to put my feelings aside.
Yeah.
I was
like,
going to say, like, it
if
was never about your feelings. It was
Yeah.
like what was best for your son, innit?
Yeah, exactly. Because if it was my feelings, I want to see my son all the time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But like he loves his mum, and he loves his mum's side of the family as well. So I've got to respect that, and I do respect that. And like since the 50-50s happened, like me and his mum have like worked really well together. I feel it's been really
No, that's
amicable,
good.
and
That's good. That's good.
It's we've come a long way. Put it that
So
way.
my situation's now more or less 50-50 in time actually spent. So like, I have them through the week for school, and then they stay with their mum like 2 nights on alternate weekends, 1 night on the other. And then she
Yeah.
picks them up 2 days a week where she brings them back. And then on the Friday she has them overnight.
During the week.
So and then through the holidays she'll have them the majority of the time, and so it sort of flips.
Okay.
How does it like work for you as well? Like, you know, like your little ones, have they adapted to that sort of change where like you're a resident parent, and you used to have them like all the time to now?
I think they're better off for it.
Okay.
I think they're better off for it. My youngest seems quite attached to me, because when they first came to me sort of full time, she was very young, so she sometimes gets a bit upset. But I think there's still sort of maybe a bit of separation anxiety there. But like my oldest, like she loves it. She's thriving. They've got a brother now, like on their mum's side.
Oh, amazing.
So they like you know, they talk about him a lot. And to be
Yeah.
fair, actually, that's like an almost different dynamic for me. Like it was sort of just like a switch that happened. Like with my family, and my sister's got a different mom, but my mom's family always included her.
Yeah.
Which is obviously it's a nice thing. So I grew up with that being a thing. So
Yeah,
with
that's
their
great.
brother now, as he gets older, and like I'll never not include him. Like
Yeah.
if ever he says I want to go with Sylvia and Everly,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Their dad's
No,
house,
that's really good.
That's
That's
not a
really
problem.
good.
Like I'm
was-
there.
On that point, like because I've now got a 1-year-old with my my current partner. I was talking to my missus the other day about like how my daughter is like the glue to our family. Brings everyone
Yeah,
together.
she does.
Yeah, sort of
Because-
bridges
yeah.
the relation,
it's-
doesn't
it's
she? Because
beautiful in that way.
she's everyone's
It's-
relative in
Yeah.
the two
Because-
families.
Exactly.
Like before her, like if you
It's
two,
kind of like a
It was
dominance.
step-
yeah,
it was step
Not
and
that we
children.
wanted it to
and
be,
if you
but
like, if you two separated,
it would have been a click.
yeah, it would have kind
Yeah.
of been like a clean cut, like.
Yeah.
Whereas
Wouldn't
now
you
it's
see-
not going to be a clean cut because like
No, it's
Yeah.
not, it's not gonna happen.
your daughter, right? It's not going to
well, I don't
happen.
want it to happen.
It's not going to happen. We're not wishing any badness
We're
on
getting
you. but-
married, guys.
Do you know what? Do you know what?